Warriors. We're in there. Love you guys. Not wasting time. I'm getting straight into this thing. I'm talking about Star Wars The Force Awakens, that new trailer that came out. God, stop. Stop. I'm done. That trailer was ridiculous. Beautiful. Now that's what I call a fucking trailer, man. Hype. Beautiful. Meant something. It resonated in me. I love it. Let me tell you something, okay? Probably the best trailer I've watched since the Superman vs. Batman trailer, right? Now, what I can say difference in those two was Superman vs. Batman trailer was amazing. I saw it, I was like, wow, superheroes doing superhero stuff. Unbelievable, incredible. Wow, Superman vs. Batman doing all that kind of crazy shit. Mesmerizing and beautiful. No, mesmerizing and hype, right? Now, when I watched this trailer, first of all, I wasn't hyped, I was excited. Followed by a feeling of, I was kind of overwhelmed, to be absolutely honest with you. Then nostalgia, then happiness, then hype, then just overwhelmed again. I kept on going for a range of emotions that was nothing but happiness, positive, excitement, hype, and everything. It wasn't just relying on keeping my excite meter up. It was something that took me through a various location of, different types of emotions. It took me on a journey of emotions, yeah, and it was all good. I couldn't believe it. Like, everything we saw in it, we know Han Solo. We know but we're seeing kind of new stuff when we see like the riot stormtroopers, right? That is led by Captain Phasma, right? We've never seen a Captain Phasma before. But you look at Captain Phasma, we know the stormtroopers. So when we're seeing Captain Phasma, like a proper, like, sick-looking character, and this is a person that's supposed to be leading the stormtroopers, you buy it immediately. Obviously, they're doing new stories about these kind of characters. Like, you can find out about, like, who Pow is, and the Resistance, and Princess Leia being the leader of the Resistance, all this kind of stuff, yeah. Because there's a comic that I'm reading called Star Wars Shattered Empire. That's like telling you the story about that. The story that leads from the Star Wars, the movies, into this movie. So it just tells you everything about the Knights of Ren. Because with Kylo Ren, he comes from like an order, yeah. Like a bunch of knights called the Knights of Ren. So that tells you about that story. It tells you about, because he works under Chinook, right, or Snook, or however you pronounce his name, man, the supreme leader of this new First Order, and the First Order is blatantly the Empire, right? Because everything is set after the Battle of Eldor, the Galactic Civil War, which was the war between, obviously we all know this, but I'm just reiterating it, the war between the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire, yeah? And we see all the kind of things, like we see the T-Fighters from the Empire, we see the X-Fighters from the Rebel Alliance, that we see that was from the original movies, but we're seeing the T-Fighters back, because we know that the Rebel Alliance is basically the Resistance now. The Resistance is led by Princess Leia. Yeah, I'm gonna call her Princess Leia. I'm not calling her by her full name. That Princess Leia, that's Bae. That's her. Like, I remember Princess Leia, so I'm gonna call her Princess Leia. And Han Solo, I'm calling him Han Solo. Right? So we see all these kind of characters. We know it. We know Jakka, the planet. This was basically the backdrop of the Battle of Eldor. This is where everything took place. The Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars, we know this place. So when we see Rey as a scavenger, it's like, we all know this. We've seen this before. So it's so sick. And like, there was one fight, like a dog fight, whatever you want to call it, where you see Rey scavenging. This is the beginning of the trailer, right? You can clearly see that she's scavenging in the Star Destroyer, right? And you can clearly see, because there was a bit where you see the Millennium Falcon, which was everything. You see the Millennium Falcon flying in a dogfight against T-Fighters. Stop. Ridiculous. Okay. Sorry, compose yourself, Jonathan. Compose yourself. Yeah. And you see that, but the backdrop the whole area is basically a Star Destroyer. It shows the scale of a Star Destroyer. It shows how big it is, that they can have a dogfight with the Millennium Falcon and TIE fighters fighting throughout the whole area, and it's still taking place within the ruins of the Star Destroyer. It's absolutely beautiful. And then you see a bit where you see Powell, whatever you say his name, right? You see him walking, and you see all of the resistance, like, making to go to their locations because battle is taking place or whatever, right? And you see Finn walking with his gun. And then he just walks past, he goes underneath the T-70 X-Fighter, and he taps Finn on the shoulder. And he's like, my man, you ready to go to war? And Finn's like, I'm ready, baby. Let's do this. What was so beautiful about that scene was you see Paul going underneath an X-Fighter. His X-Fighter. He touches it. It means everything. It means everything. I mean, X-Fighters are X-Fighters, right? But X-Fighters mean a lot, man. You know what I mean? If you remember, Luke Skywalker, he had the, I think, I can't remember exactly because it's been a long time since I've, like, I think it was a T-65B. T-65B X-Fighter. I can't remember. But basically, Luke had an X-Fighter, you know, and he piloted it with C-3PO. What am I saying? R2-D2, right? And in this, you see Power is blatantly with the Resistance because you see symbol on his head, right? You see he's in his T-70 X-Fighter with the new machine, I think it's B8, or something like that. It's the new machine, and you see Rey. You see Rey walking. You see Rey walking with it in the desert, and that's what I found was good as well. When you look at Rey, you saw her walk in the desert scavenging. It looked real. I believe she was in a desert. I believe it. You saw the sand, the sweat, the way she was walking, the footprints in the sand. It didn't look like fucking CG. It didn't look fake to me. It looked like wherever they could make it real, it looked real. The sets didn't look like sets. They looked like they were real places that were created just for. They used the scenes multiple times, and it wasn't just sets. They were big, massive whole areas. Like when it was like in a building, it wasn't just a room. It was like an entire facility that was created. We're going to film in this bit, then we're going to film upstairs, then we're going to film round there. Then when they say there's a different part of the complex, they actually go into a different part of the complex because they built the whole thing. I believe it. It looks authentic, it looks organic, it looks real. When you see Captain Phasma, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not gonna pronounce it right, I'm sorry. Right, leading the right stormtroopers. You believe it. You're like, shit, that's the stormtroopers. That's the leader of the stormtroopers. When you see Kylo Ren walking with the Knights of Ren and just doing all types of skullduggery, yeah, you believe it. It's godlike. It's beautiful. When you see the Starfighters and the X-Fighters versus the T-Fighters doing the dogfights, it just takes you back to like the Empire Strikes Back. It just takes you back to when you used to see, you saw Luke Skywalker. It's just everything, man. There was one bit as well that was really telling about the film. By the way, Luke Skywalker's in the trailer. 3, you see the what's it called again? The R2-D2 and Luke Skywalker. When a man puts his hand on R2-D2 and he's got a metal hand, like a robot hand. That's blatantly Luke. Come on, stop with that already. Yeah, but that was Luke. But there was a bit when you see, I can't remember what I was talking about now. Shit, I can't remember. Anyway, fine. It couldn't be that important if I can't remember it. It'll probably jog in my memory. And there was another bit, there was like, because there was so many things in this trailer, man, that is just meaty to talk about, right? But there was one bit when you saw a TIE fighter in space flying away from a capital ship. From a capital ship, right? And it was blatantly a capital ship. I'm sorry, yeah? Like, That's a capital ship. Like, if I make a mistake, I've made a mistake. I'm sorry, right? But you see the TIE fighter flying in space away from it, and it gets shot down by the capital ship, right? I believe that is the moment that Finn is trying to escape. He realized, because you hear in the trailer, he says, all my life I've been raised to do one thing, but now I don't know what I'm fighting for. I've got nothing to believe in. Yeah? And when you look at Finn, you believe him. You believe when he says, I don't know what I'm fighting for. Because you feel you're on a journey with him. You feel like you're on a journey with Rey. I feel like these are two people you can identify. They're two ordinary people put in an extraordinary situation, and they have to become and realize their extraordinary destiny in order to survive, overcome, and conquer the First Order. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy, man. I'm happy, dude. Like, I'm watching this trailer. I'm seeing everything. I know everything that's old, and I'm seeing things that are new, and I'm hyped. I'm excited. I'm thinking, wow, is this real? It's real. You know what I mean? Like, godlike trailer. Godlike trailer. Godlike everything. I love the way you see everything, and you see all the different types of troopers. You see the fire. I think it's fire flame troopers or something like that. Like, there's different type of troopers. Like I'm saying, like, you see different type of troopers, and like, because like, you know, there was a bit where you basically saw the First Order because you saw the symbol, right? But then you also saw different types of stormtroopers, riot troopers, stormtroopers, flame troopers, dark troopers. You saw different types, man, and that's what was so good. So different variant types, because we know, because as they've gone over and over time, they've started to implement new different things. And this, you see all of them, and it's just beautiful, man. Like, I just love the trailer. I thought, like, Disney and whoever's doing J.J. Abraham, amazing job. And I believed in J.J. Abraham from a long time, because we know that man, he cares. He fucking cares. Like, look what he did with Star Wars, Star Trek. Sorry. I might make that mistake a couple of times, I'm sorry. I didn't believe in Star Trek, to be absolutely honest with you. Then I saw what he did with Star Trek, and he made something that I felt couldn't be saved. He saved it, and he made it even better than the original movies. He did. I'm sorry if you don't like it, but that's how I feel, right? So when I heard he was doing this Star Wars, I was like, he's really doing this Star Wars. I was like, okay. So I believe it. He's a man that doesn't depend on CG. You know what I mean? It's like when you look at films, like remember Captain America, Winter Soldier. What was godlike about that film was wherever they could use real, they used real. They didn't depend on CG. When they were on a highway, they were on a highway. When there was a car crash, there was a car crash. When there was an explosion, it looked like a proper explosion that was right there. It didn't look like it was a CG explosion that was put in afterwards. This Star Wars trailer looked like it showed that the movie's got the same thing. Wherever they can make it authentic, whenever they can make it tangible, where you can reach out and touch it, yeah, they put it in there. And that was what meant everything to me. Not only just showing us Han Solo and Princess Leia and the Millennium Falcon and the TIE fighters and the X-Fighters and the Star Destroyers and everything, showing us, oh my god, that's the First Order. Oh, okay, I see you. That's Kylo Ren. That's what he can do. That's the Knights of Ren. That's the First Order. That's Captain Phasma. Oh shit, that's the White Stormtroopers. So this is the new Resistance. You'll see all these kind of things, and they're new, but we already know them from the original Star Wars. And when we're following new stuff, come on now, this is too godlike. It's beautiful. Like, I'm so happy, man. I feel like a kid that's woken up on Christmas morning. That's how I feel. Right? I feel so good. I feel like it's in good hands. They're not fucking up. When I look at Jakku, I'm looking at a planet that I know. Because we went on so many adventures there with Luke and Princess Leia, man. So these places mean everything. It's almost part of our heritage. If you're like an 80s baby or an I could say 90s baby, because people in the 90s, television showed it a lot. But I would say more if you're an 80s baby, or you just love the Star Wars movies in general. Fuck being an 80s baby, or 90s baby. If you love the Star Wars in general, and you've watched the Star Wars movies, and you love the original ones, I mean, the new ones, you can say, cool. If you like them, you like them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, like, say anything bad about it, or anything like that. But I'm just saying, I like the original Star Wars. I didn't really like the new ones where Anakin's backstory. I didn't really like it, so whatever. You know what I mean? But when you look at it, you're seeing the same thing that you saw from before, just revisited, fresh, new characters with original characters, and it's just carrying on the story. Like, that is just beautiful. Like, I love it. I need to hear what you've got to say, what you think about it. I could go on about this forever. I could go about this forever. Like, I love it. I'm just happy about everything like that. Talk to me, please, Warriors. Let me hear what you've got to say, and let's do this thing. Okay, Warriors, till my next video. Thanks for staying with me all this time, and love you guys. Thanks.